Arch Rally is going to happen in Coimbatore on 25th and 26th of July 2026. And this rally not only happens on the circuit, it happens on public road, and public road involves lot of restrictions. How this rally is happening on public roads, and for that we have a special guest, Mr. Prithivi Raj. He is a clerk of the course. More than 15 years he is into this rally, and for this rally, Prithivi Raj is setting up the whole circuit and track and different gravels for this rally, and we are going to discuss more about the rally tracks and gravels with Prithivi Raj, and here he is. Hi sir.
Hello.
COC, Clerk of the Course. So what is it actually?
Okay, so the clerk of the course is usually, let's say, the director of the event, right? He takes care completely right from this, probably deciding the dates based on the weather forecast that is there and what part of the year, because it rains in certain parts of the country in different days, right? So at Coimbatore, we usually prefer the month of July and August, right? Where we usually have those just monsoon setting in, right? Those period of time. And then we get into more of planning or bringing marshals as to if their dates are free, right? And this involves like probably 250 officials that you'll require, right? And those 250 officials should be trained, right? Who are already trained because of all the years of experience that they carry, right? That's something that we have to look at as to everyone is required, because at any point of time or any position that you put that marshal in, he completely has to take care of it. And those people who are there is what my confidence is in running up the rally.
How many days it takes to set up a rally?
So usually it is 3 months ahead, right? We start preparing, go ahead, get land permissions, go talk to the local panchayat, go talk to the villages around those areas, probably go door to door to go tell them about the event and the danger of the event that it involves, right? And then we start initially making the layout as to how we want the track, right? Sometimes there are certain places that you might get this year, but you will not be getting the next year. So there's a lot of challenges that you have in terms of getting those permissions around. And there'll be some small land owners where you'll have to cut through and probably go make a way around it, right? And every year for me, the challenge is to, because the cars are evolving on a yearly basis, right? They get faster year on year. And my challenge is to make the stager go faster and faster, right? Okay. And there is also this distance factor that I'll have to think about when designing these tracks, right? Okay. There is also a lot more in terms of designing where you'll have to look out for the safety aspects of it, right? At some places, if it's really necessary, you'll have to make a few corners where you'll have to slow down the speed. There is always a mix and match. Sometimes you get into a tarmac and get on off the tarmac, right? And then those are some aspects where a lot of other things that you'll have to think about. What if a car goes and stops in a narrow section and something breaks, and that will lead to a stoppage of a rally stage, right? So these things really matter when you design the stage, and that's a luxury that we have in Coimbatore compared to the other places where there's always enough space for other cars to move around, and there is not a real need for you to probably stop a stage because a car stops in between. Yeah. Right?
So how many stages are there in this arch rally?
So we have 3 stages. Okay. One is going to be the qualifying stage that's here at the Kari Speedway. Okay. That's going to be a night stage. We wanted to have a mix and match of both gravel and tarmac, right, for the crowd to go enjoy. And it's been some time since there was a night rally that's been organized, and probably we thought this is the time to go experiment as to how this is going to work out. And it's always nice to watch during the night. And probably if you look at the other stages that's going to be run on Sunday, right? We have 2 stages, one the beta stage and the gamma stage, and those 2 stages are going to be run thrice. It's fun to watch in Coimbatore, right? I always say it's one of those spectator-friendly stages that we have here, and it's only at this particular city that you get to watch those cars go around twice or thrice, and you can keep looking or following the car, and then you have another car to watch. At one particular point of time in a stage, you can probably see 3 cars, and that's something that never happens in rallying.
What are all the challenges that drivers will face? Like, whether it is a steep hill, water wading will be there, or what kind of obstacles they will face?
Right. So the nature of the stages that we have here in Coimbatore does not give us that flexibility of an uphill section or a water wading section, right? But if it rains, yes, it becomes slippery, right?
Yeah.
Those are all the challenges that might have. And the more, like last year, what happened is the first set of cars, 4-5 cars didn't have rain, and then rain kicked in for the later stage. And that's a disadvantage for few people. It might be advantage for certain people. So Coimbatore as a stage, there is not of a challenge because it's all flat land. You can carry a lot more speed. It's more forgiving, right?
Okay.
That's the nature
More
of the
of
circuit.
drift will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens because there's always that room of error, right? At most places, you can go out and still again come back and join, right? Otherwise, if you go probably in a hilly region or the other rallies that happen around, you're gone, you're gone. It's difficult for you to again come back. You hit a tree or
Yeah.
things like that, and it's really difficult for you to come back to the track and again join and continue.
When it comes to safety, what are all the measures you follow in terms of following the safety for both drivers as well as for the spectators and for the organizers?
During the setup of the stage, we usually have an observer appointed by the FMSA who comes in, probably goes through the whole route, checks out as to what are our arrangements that we do, right? Usually if we cross a 15-kilometer mark, we usually have a midpoint where it has an ambulance and stuff. Otherwise, the nature of the stage is at the start of the stage, we usually have an ambulance, a tow truck, and an extrication vehicle, right? So let's say there's an incident that happens, the stage commander takes the doctor with them, goes to the particular place, and there's all first aid kits that's available, and the doctor analyzes the situation and then gives a call, will an ambulance have to come or an extrication has to come to recover the driver out. Talking about extrication, right? That's something that we have at the best of the standards that the world follows, right? We have equipment that can cut a car in probably 2 minutes and take the driver out safely, because there are some incidents where you're not supposed to probably take them out. They'll have to be in the seat, where you'll have to cut everything around the seat to probably just take the seat out.
Okay.
Right. So those are some challenging times where even though we take the most of the precautions in terms of safety of the car, but rallying is always that you never expect something to happen. We try to probably think about all 1,000 different safety factors, but there's always 1,001 risk that is always there. Right. So when such situations happen, then obviously we'll have to use the best of the resources that we have around. And there is also something called as a safety plan and how much distance it takes for the ambulance to go, what is the time that it takes for them to go to the hospital and get it attended, right? These are some things. We'll always have a backup ambulance, right? So we usually go get our ambulances and the doctors from a multi-specialty hospital so that they can probably think about all different things and rather not a closest hospital.
And what about spectators? What do you advise for the spectators not to do during the rally event?
So that becomes a very challenging task for me, like because it's all open lands, right? And there's hundreds of acres. And Coimbatore, I'm saying, it's not mostly involved in the public roads. The rally actually happens in the barren lands or the private lands.
Private lands, okay.
Belong to each people. For me, as a challenge is we'll have 1,000 entry points where people can come in all different directions. So we have a people who are called the spectator control or the crowd control people. We employ them during the rally, and the setup of them probably on a rally stage happens 2 hours before. There is also some notices that we go distribute to the people around in the panchayat, through the police station, through the self-help groups that are there around those villages where these rallies happen. So that's a primary concern, and then we'll have all these people like spectator control people who we'll have, and there's also this radio points where at most important points we'll always have an important person, a senior most person who's put up at those intervention junctions where there might be an issue, right? Where there's huge crowd, and there's this chief safety officer who probably takes care of all of those in terms of the spectator safety. If there is, you expect that crowd, you do not expect that crowd initially during the planning, and during the day of the rally, you notice there's something, and the chief safety officer goes and probably takes care of those things.
Great. This is going to be a different experience, and thank you so much for explaining all the aspects of setting up the track and all the safety measures which is going to be implemented in the rally. As I discussed with many other organizers, it is going to be a set of series to happen in coming years, and we are expecting a lot more adventure and action in this rally, and we will meet on 25th and 26th.
Sure.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you.